Hey, Corey. This is Carl. Just calling about a property you have listed at 3310 Thomas North Avenue.
3310 Thomas. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Did I catch you at a okay time?
I'm not in front of the computer right now, but I'll do my best to help you with that.
Okay. I was wondering, it says 4-bed, 1-bath on like Privy, but it also says 3-bed, 1-bath, which just on another, I think like Redfin. So I was just wondering what's going on with that.
Welcome back to the show, guys. In today's episode, we're talking with Carl, who has been gathering information and learning about real estate investing and is ready to start making offers. But he's struggling with a little bit of the logistics. So today we're going to talk about calling real estate agents, making offers, running comps, and more. And if you want to be on the show and want to do a one-on-one call with me about your real estate journey, all you need to do is join my Run the Numbers monthly training program. It's only $9 a month. And not only would you get the opportunity to come on the show, you also get to evaluate multiple deals every month with me to find ARV, to find comps, to find rehab budgets, and more. So if you want my help on your real estate investing journey, I'll put a link to that program in the description. It really helps us find more beginners in their real estate investing journey and help them get on the right path. So I would greatly appreciate it. And let's get into the show. So just tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're at with your real estate investing journey and what you want to talk about today.
Okay. My name is Carl, and I've been studying wholesaling for about a year now, and I plan on doing like virtually. Yeah, that's sorry, did that answer your question? I forgot.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay.
Follow up. Why wholesaling? Why virtual? What's making you want to go that direction?
I think the virtual, just because I got I like the Privy like user interface, and it seems like pretty easy to like figure out like a good market like there, but they don't cover here in Kentucky, so I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna, it seems easier to use Privy virtually. So, and plus I would want to do that eventually anyways, capitalize on the best markets to wholesale in, really.
Right. Not necessarily be stuck where you are, but choose specifically where you want to go.
Yeah.
Privy is a tool that's very similar to PROPSTREAM, which means that they are both data providers. They are giving you access to data from county records, from state records, from the MLS that goes a level deeper than what you would typically find on Redfin or Zillow. So having access to those data providers can help you find not just better information, but better deals. I typically use PropStream, but I have used Privy in the past, and I have links for free trials to whichever one you decide to try out in the description below. Awesome. Have you decided on a market that you really want to go after yet, or you're kind of still in that research phase?
Right now, I'm kind of in the Minnesota area, and I kind of picked that just because like it seems like there's like a good amount of comps, but it's not like insanely competitive like Tampa and stuff. So
yeah, makes sense. And then you said kind of wholesaling. Why the wholesaling route? That's what I started with.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious why you want to start there.
I wanted to start there just because like I need like capital, like at least like eventually what I would like to do is house hack eventually. But I don't even have like any sort of cash for like a down payment or anything like that, even though I know like there's probably ways to do it without it, but it's just nice to have some, capital to fall back on at least.
Yeah, for sure. I know, like, even for myself, I was able to get like that down payment assistance, but at the end of the day, like it's still your house. And if something goes wrong, you want to have those reserves
Exactly.
for, whatever you've got to pay for.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That makes total sense. So you've been interested in this about a year. What made you click the link in my email and actually want to get on a call today? Like what do you feel like is the next step, or what do you need in order to really get that first deal?
I mean, I really, right now, it's just getting over a fear of talking to real estate agents. Really, I feel like I have like just about everything I need to take action. It's just about like taking action right now. I guess like something I'm like somewhat like kind of unsure about is like if I should, with buyers, if I should, I don't know, virtually, should I like have like an open house for them, or should I like let them in like one by one, like on a case by case basis when they're checking it out? Like that kind of stuff is like a little bit like iffy to me in my mind. But other than that, like just about everything, I'm ready to start making calls. But
okay, so you got a good feel for the big picture, but maybe some of like just the logistical pieces,
exactly,
of putting it all together.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So really good question about, I'm virtual. How do I let my buyers see the property? It's kind of weird for all of them to be there at the same time. And
like, I'm not there. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just a
Yeah,
weird
they
thing. It's
can.
and like also like like if there's like tenants there, like I don't know, like how do you like navigate that sort of thing? Like do I let them know like, hey, I got a bunch of people like coming over, like can you leave or something like that? I don't know.
I think it depends. So there's a couple of ways to do it. You mentioned talking to real estate agents. So does that mean you're looking mainly to find deals that are already on market?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So in that case, it's going to be a little bit different than if you were wholesaling a deal that's off
Mm,
market. There's some logistical pieces to the on market side
mm,
that I think would be kind of helpful to go through, including getting the buyers to show up.
mm,
But the first one is that I got my first couple of deals on market as well.
mm,
And the main key is that most of the properties that are on market are not going to be a good candidate for investors because most of them are what I call just like in regular living condition,
mm,
probably what your house looks like right now, what my house looks like right now,
mm.
where there's no giant holes in the roofs. There's hopefully no rats or anything running around.
Yeah.
There's really no reason for an investor to be able to come in and buy that property at a discount.
Mm,
And so the first piece of that is making sure that if you are going to look on market, you are still looking for those distressed properties.
sure. Yeah.
Have you been able to find any of those as you're looking, or what type of property are you mostly seeing?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, nothing like. I mean, yeah, yeah. I've been able to find some distressed properties.
Okay,
So
great.
yeah.
So that's first step. And then once we do find that distressed property, you mentioned kind of the difficulty of talking to a real estate agent.
Hmm.
I think the biggest piece there is that real estate agents are not always conducive to working with wholesalers,
Hmm.
right? They're not always down for that.
Yeah.
Is that part of what you're worried about, or what's making you hesitant to call the agents?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, I think it's literally just like a irrational fear at this point.
Yeah.
It's literally just like I need to like do it, and like I don't know. I have like a rough list of like things I should bring up, like condition and timeline and occupancy and stuff like that. Yeah, it's mostly just I need to just do it. So
Yeah. Have you thought about how you'll handle the question of, "Hey, are you a wholesaler?"
yeah, I have like kind of thought about that. I would like to just tell them that I am. That would be like, but I mean, at the same time, I know that like that's sometimes like a turnoff for them. I don't know. What would you recommend in that situation?
Yeah, I recommend just going in 100% honestly
Yeah, yeah,
and letting people know exactly what you're doing and letting them decide if they would still like to work with you
mhm,
or not.
yeah,
Now, the response I usually get is like, "Oh, well, won't that mean like I'll potentially get less deals? Like there will be some people who will not work with me."
hmm,
I'm like, "Absolutely.
hmm,
It will mean that, right?"
yeah,
But that's just one of there's pros and cons to every strategy. And so my approach is to kind of go in and hit on a couple of key things, right?
mhm,
Yes, I am wholesaling. I wholesale to local cash buyers in the area. We make sure that we have our 10-day inspection period and we secure our buyer, kind of before that's up. And then oftentimes, if they have a problem with working with wholesalers, asking them, right? Like, if you've had some bad experiences in the past, what have those experiences looked like
mhm,
so that I can help avoid that, in the future.
yeah,
But I do think that just being completely honest about it is the best way to go in.
yeah. And I also like don't want to have like any like I don't know like legal trouble down the road just because like I wasn't like completely honest with them or anything like that. So yeah.
Yeah. 100%. So, wholesaling on market versus off market is a hot debate, and it has been ever since I started doing my first deal. On market properties are those that are already listed for sale, typically by a real estate agent, and you'd find them on a website like Redfin or Zillow. Off market properties are properties that are not listed for sale, where you would have to go directly to the homeowner and ask them if they want to sell their property. There are pros and cons to each, but the biggest difference is that on-market properties are free to find. Redfin and Zillow are free. You can go on there and you can look. But that also means that there's going to be far more properties that are not investor friendly. Most of the properties that you find on market are not going to be in bad condition and selling for a discount. On the other hand, if you go off market, It's not free. You have to spend money to find those homeowners on a product like PROPSTREAM or Privy, or send direct mail through something like Ballpoint Marketing. But you can target only the properties that would be a good deal for you. And so you have the opportunity to make bigger and better deals, typically off market than you will on market. A lot of people who are new to the game like to start with on market because it is so much less expensive. But my recommendation is that regardless of which you choose, you always are 100% honest and upfront with the seller or the real estate agent if you plan to wholesale the deal. If they decide not to work with you, that is their right. Move on and find another. Okay, we'll get into the question of getting the buyers there. I know we're coming back to that, but just kind of walking through the timeline, I'd love to do a little bit of like a role play where you're a wholesaler calling and I'm a listing agent. I just want to see how you might handle that conversation and then maybe give you some feedback.
All right. Yeah.
Ring, ring, ring. Hello?
Hi, Lili. This is Carl. I was just calling about a listing you have at blah, blah, blah.
Oh, hi. How you doing, Carl? How can I help you?
Hey, I was just I was interested in it as a potential investment property. What can you tell me about it?
Yeah. Well, it is probably would be pretty good for a rental. It's not in the greatest condition though, would need a little bit of work, but it's pretty close to a school. So a family, could live there if they have kids that, they want to go into that school. It'll be vacant at closing, needs some updates. But yeah, generally, I think it'd be pretty good for an investment property. Are you an investor yourself, or are you an agent?
I'm a wholesaler, and I would be looking at this as a potential flip. Is that the kind of buyer that you would be interested in, or do you think the seller is like more interested in seeing it as a rental?
I don't think the seller really cares, what somebody does with it after they close.
Okay.
But I have heard a couple of bad things about wholesalers. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're wanting to do?
Yeah. How would you answer that one?
Yeah, great question. It's that's why I asked. It's probably the hardest question. I think
Yeah.
maybe even subconsciously that might be what's kind of holding you back from making those calls.
Yeah.
So one strategy that I use is like, it is much easier to be a wholesaler for an on-market property that is really, really, really distressed, right? And is not selling. So for example, if most of your properties or most of the properties in your market for 30 days, and I'm calling an agent who's had a property on market for 75 days, right? That gives me an in to explain how me as a wholesaler can help solve this problem for her. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to work with somebody that's going to help them. So if you can explain how you as a wholesaler can help this agent, then you're kind of starting off on the same side rather than on different sides.
Right. Okay.
So to put that all together, I might say something like, well, I noticed that this property has been on market quite a while. And so generally as a wholesaler, I've got connections to quite a few cash buyers in the area. So my job is to kind of figure out with you what price we can make this deal work at, and then move it to one of my buyers to help get it closed for everyone.
Gotcha.
And I kind of said that in my own words, but the things that I tried to hit on there, and maybe you want to put this in your script, is like, what problem can you solve? In this case, it's the days on market. It's been on market for a long time. I know a lot of buyers. I can help solve that. Or maybe another big problem is like, this is a really big renovation. Right? Like this is going to need hundreds of thousands of dollars to complete this renovation. I know some buyers looking for big deals.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about the problem I can solve, and then just being honest that I'm working with other buyers, that I'm not the end buyer.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
Want to try again?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, cool. So, yeah, I've heard some weird things about wholesalers. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're wanting to do with the deal?
Yeah, I've got a lot of buyers that I can get this property to quickly. And then I noticed that this property has been on market for quite a while. So yeah, I can get this locked up pretty quickly.
Always focusing on what's the problem you can solve for them, and then letting them know that you're not actually the end buyer. And sometimes that agent is going to say, oh, you know what? We're not interested in working with a wholesaler.
That's fine. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Sometimes they'll say, oh, okay, well, yeah, we can continue the conversation. Regardless, I always like to tell them, two things, and you can put this on your list as well.
Okay.
One is, that's totally fine. I am not represented by an agent. So if you have any deals that you want to send my way, you can represent me as on the buyer side as well.
Mhm.
And what that does is it allows the agent to take both sides of the commission.
Right. Is that going to change here soon? Or because I saw that like there was like a a lawsuit like with like the National like Realtor Association or something like that about something going on with the commissions.
Yeah. So depends on the state
Okay.
and also depends on the individual broker.
Hmm.
Right. So every real estate agent works underneath a broker who's kind of like their boss in charge of their office and how they do things.
Okay.
So different brokers have different rules, different states have different rules.
Okay.
But in general, there are 6% of the sales price goes to the agents for their commission.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And both the buyer and the seller can have an agent and they split that commission.
Right.
3% to the buyer's agent, 3% to the seller's agent. What makes it so valuable for us as investors to not have a buyer's agent, right? Because we kind of do the research and work on our own to research the deal, find the deal,
Mhm.
is that now the listing agent, instead of making 3% on that deal, if allowed by their state and if allowed by their broker,
Mhm.
can take the full 6%.
Yeah.
And the great thing about that is that the seller pays the commission. So it's not us that is paying 3% or 6%. The seller pays the commission.
I gotcha.
So I've had deals where the real estate agent said, you know what, this seller doesn't want to work with a wholesaler. I said, that's totally fine. If in any future deals you're looking to move a contract and the seller is okay with it,
Mhm.
please do let me know. And you can also have both sides of the commission, right? So I'm kind of offering them something and letting them know, cool, reach out to me again on future deals.
Okay. Cool.
Cool. Any questions about that, or does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, great. So that's one way to kind of handle your calls with real estate agents.
Mhm.
And I would say even before you start really making offers or really seriously considering properties, you need to make like 30 to 50 calls
Mhm.
that are just practice calls.
Yeah.
Right? And you can say, I'm not licensed,
Mhm.
right? I'm not a licensed real estate agent.
Mhm.
I'm an investor and I'm just looking to learn more about the property.
Oh, okay.
Right. And this is not for you to go out and make an offer on that property and actually try to wholesale it.
Mhm.
It's for you to practice your conversational skills
Mhm.
and talk about real estate with an agent.
Yeah.
Right. So just, yeah, can you tell me what type of work does the property need? Do you know the last time the kitchens and bathrooms were updated?
Yeah.
You know, when is the seller looking to close by?
Yeah.
All that type of stuff.
If like I've noticed like watching people, they often ask about like big ticket items like like the AC and like the roof and stuff like that. When they're asking about that, are they just trying to figure out like if this is a heavy remodel or if this is a medium remodel, or is that something you add on top of your rehab estimates, if that makes sense?
So it depends.
Mm.
It depends. I think generally that first conversation is like, how big of a renovation am I dealing with?
Yeah.
Right? Is this just going to be cosmetic, or am I replacing the AC, the heater, blah, 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 blah.
Mm.
And then like when I'm putting my rehab estimates together, I use the rehab calculator that I have inside my training program. And that is where exactly where it's more detailed. And if they say, yes, the roof needs to be replaced, then I can make a line item for that. If they say, yes, we need a new AC condenser, I can make a line item.
Gotcha.
We need a new water heater, I can make a line item.
Okay.
Now, I'm not necessarily putting together that renovation budget on the first conversation,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I do want to get a general idea and then I can get more specific as we go.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So that takes care of your practice. I would say that's your first piece of homework, is to have 30 to 50 just information only phone calls with real estate agents that have distressed properties on market,
Okay.
right? I'm an interested investor. I would just love to learn more about the property. If you can walk through properties, if you can go to open houses and just get really comfortable having those conversations, then you can take the next step of really getting into the nitty gritty.
Okay.
That said, to kind of loop back to your question about open houses.
Mm-hmm.
So it's difficult with on-market properties if you're not there.
Mm.
I have had situations where I had one buyer, right, who was like, yep, I want it. I just have to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I connected them with I still had it under contract, right? And I had a contract with the buyer,
Mm-hmm.
but I connected them with the real estate agent and the real estate agent was able to show them the property.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the contract with the buyer, I wouldn't do that until I have it under contract, right? Because you don't want that buyer to just kind of skip out on you.
Mm-hmm.
That's one way. Generally, it's much easier to have just an open house
Okay.
when the property is off market and there's not a real estate agent there, right?
Okay.
Like even if you're virtual, you can hire a handyman or someone off of Craigslist to open up the house and let your buyers come through,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that's going to be harder to do when it's on market.
Gotcha.
When it's on market, I would focus a little bit less on getting 5-10 buyers through there.
Mm-hmm.
And focus on finding one buyer who's really serious and who really wants the property, but just needs to see it to confirm,
Okay.
and connect them with the real estate agent.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't send a bunch of buyers by the house and then kind of ambush the real estate agent.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
who are all these people?
Cool. Yeah, that's very good to know. Okay. Awesome. I do have a sample that I came up with if you want to go through that.
Is this an on-market property?
It is, yes.
Okay, great. All right, what's the address?
All right. 3310 Thomas North Avenue in Minnesota. Put the actual Minneapolis, Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, got it. So let's take a look at the pictures and just tell me what stood out about this property to you.
It was kind of hard to see the roof on it, but that top floor looked pretty janky. So I was guessing it might be a heavy remodel, or maybe, I don't know. Could be.
Not sure the level of remodel yet, but it's definitely distressed.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Could use some updating. Definitely something going on there.
Yeah, that.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So this is what I like to see, in the sense of this is a distressed property that is going to need some love in order to get it sold or to get it up to par.
Mm-hmm.
Listed 5 days ago. I'm just reading the description here.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say anything about a renovation needed, but sometimes this word hidden gems can kind of, like, it's not great yet, but it could be,
Yeah.
you know? Okay, cool. So this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
This is a 4-bedroom, 1-bathroom.
Yeah. And I feel like there weren't too many that were a 4-bedroom, 1-bath around there.
Yeah. I don't see that often. And I'm trying to read the description if I can understand. It says, it's a 1.5 story
Mm-hmm.
to a main full level with a spacious kitchen, living, and dining room. And then head upstairs to 3 bedrooms and a full bathroom.
Yeah.
And there's also an unfinished living lower level. That's a weird house.
Right?
No bedrooms on the first floor.
Yeah.
No bathrooms on the first floor. And then 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom.
We're fitting
upstairs.
all that stuff up on that second, like, half story. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funky. Sometimes weird houses can be good because no one else wants them.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be cheaper. But sometimes they could be weird because it's hard to make it work.
Yeah.
PropStream actually has it as a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom. So I wonder if they're kind of considering like a living room or something and trying to turn it into a bedroom.
Yeah. Maybe just trying to get the most for it they can, I guess, but calling some random room a bedroom.
Exactly. So I might consider this a true 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom.
Okay.
Because it does say 3 bedrooms.
Yeah.
1 bathroom.
I was, when I calculated my ARV, I did adjust, a lot of the 3 bedrooms and stuff. Like I use like Jamil's, add like 25,000 for every bedroom kind of deal.
Right.
So yeah, knowing this now, I probably would not have done that actually.
This is actually a great opportunity to just call the real estate agent and ask.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's for sale right now. You want to call the agent?
Oh, right now? Oh gosh.
Yeah, do you want to?
Oh man. I mean, yeah, we can.
You got a phone you could put on speaker and kind of go for it?
Yeah.
What's our plan for this phone call?
Just want to find out what's going on with the bedrooms or the layout.
Okay. When she asks, and who are you?
I am an investor.
You asking me?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I am asking.
Yeah.
No, you're telling.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
an
I am an
investor.
investor. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool. 763.
Hello, this is Corey.
Hey, Corey. This is Carl. Just calling about a property you have listed at 3310 Thomas North Avenue.
2310 Thomas. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Did I catch you at a okay time?
Well, I'm not in front of the computer right now, but I'll do my best to help you with that.
Okay. I was wondering, it says 4-bed, 1-bath on like Privy, but it also says 3-bed, 1-bath, which just on another, I think like Redfin. So I was just wondering what's going on with that.
It is 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom. Let me think here. No, it's 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
half bath on the main. Let me think. There's a half bath on the main. There's 3 bedrooms upstairs, and there is not a bedroom on the main, and there's not a bedroom or a bathroom downstairs in the basement.
Okay.
So yeah, it's definitely 3-bedroom, 1-bath or 2-bathroom.
Okay.
So 1 full bathroom and one half bathroom.
Gotcha. What's the story with it? Like, does it have like anything going on that like I can't see like with the pictures?
Nothing to think of right offhand. If you want to send me an email, I can get back to you. I might not even, just to be safe, I might not be thinking of the correct house.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
If it's, that sounds, I can think I'm going through it, but I might be thinking about a different house, honestly.
I gotcha.
But yeah,
okay.
if you want to send me an email to,
Okay.
I can, either myself or my assistant can respond to you this afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, appreciate you.
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, that was so good.
Okay, yay. I was thinking
that
like,
was so good.
Yay. I was kind of worried. Like, I feel like I probably like, I don't know. I wanted to ask more, but I didn't want to like ask questions that like if he wasn't even sure if it was like the house he was thinking of, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you adjusted well. Really great job. You sounded confident. You got great information. We're sitting here thinking it's a 4-bedroom, 1-bathroom.
Yeah.
It's actually a 3 1.5.
Yeah.
Right? So like just making that phone call, that 45 seconds got you more information.
Mm-hmm.
You now have made a connection with a real estate agent who's listing distressed properties.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I would do is I would email him and I would ask him for any disclosures that are on the property.
Mm.
So a disclosure is whenever a seller goes to list a property, the agent is going to ask them to disclose anything they know that's wrong with the house.
Mm.
So about the water heater, how old the roof is, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to answer those questions. Now, they don't always know, right? So they might leave it blank,
Mm-hmm.
and people do lie. So they might, say that the water heater's 5 years old when it's really 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to get you some extra information to learn about the property. And just asking for that makes you seem a little bit more experienced, to the agent. So that's a really great next step.
Okay.
Email him.
Ask
him, for the disclosures, confirm that it's a 3-bedroom, 1.5. See if you can confirm the square footage, because Zillow has the square footage is a little less. And so I'm wondering if they are including this unfinished lower level in this finished square footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a great job, making that phone call.
Thank you.
I don't know about you, but I thought that call went absolutely amazing. And this is the beauty of calling real estate agents just to have an investing conversation. I'm an investor and I would love to learn more about the property that you have on market. This one was listed as a 4-bedroom, 1-bath, but it's actually a 3-bedroom, 1.5. And that can drastically change the types of comps that we would choose for this property and therefore change our ARV and eventually change our offer price. So having these conversations not just gets you more information, but it also helps you build up your confidence speaking the language of real estate investing, and making connections with agents and investors in your area. Last week, I sent Carl and all of the members of my Run the Numbers program a link allowing them to book calls with me to be on the show. So if you want to join and get on a one-on-one call with me to talk about your real estate investing journey, there's a link to join that program in the description. And I hope to get the chance to work with you soon. But that was really good. I'm really glad you called and had that conversation.
Yeah.
Those are the exact type of conversations that when I say like make 30 calls about distressed properties, that's what I want you doing.
Okay.
Is like just introducing yourself, asking questions, getting used to it.
Yeah.
Your palms won't sweat as much, on call 30 as they do on call 1.
When doing that initial call, I'm pretty sure you don't fully do like all the comps and don't dig in deep with like the ARV. It's good. Isn't it good to have like just like an estimated kind of ARV? And if so, like how do you come up with that without like digging too deeply into the comps? Like is it just kind of like nearby price ranges and just base it on like what you see around there, like the price, if that makes sense?
Like in your situation, right? If I'm looking at this property, I'm really not yet looking at the comps. I'm not digging in too deeply to the comps yet. When I'm making that first phone call, I'm just practicing my conversational skills and getting more information.
Yeah.
Then the same way I need to make 30 phone calls, I need to practice running comps on 30 properties. So once I have that information, then I would dig in and actually go through the full process, run the comps, estimate the rehab, and come to what I think is a good offer price. Even if I'm never going to actually make that offer because I'm not ready yet, it's still great practice to just go ahead and go through the full process.
Should I even talk about price in the first call at all? Or should I just like wait until I make the offer to even get to like price, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I typically don't talk about price. I usually ask for the disclosures. I ask if, like you said, if there's, any other information that's I should know about, how's the condition. But on that first call, I'm usually not asking about price because I know I still need to go back and run my comps.
Right. Okay. That
was really good though. I think if you make 30 of those phone calls, like by the end of it, you're gonna be super confident and ready to take the next step.
Yay. Awesome.
This is a strategy that I learned from Jerry Norton, who's another YouTuber here on this channel, and he calls it his double dip method. And this works really well for me when I'm wholesaling on market, but it requires you to understand how real estate commissions work. Whenever there's a sale, 6% of the sale price is typically going to go towards the real estate agents in the form of commission. Some states do 5%. Some real estate agents will lower their commission or do a flat rate fee where they don't get a percentage, but typically it's 6%. And there's a couple of important things to know about how that 6% gets paid. First, it's paid by the seller. So as an investor who's buying the property or as a wholesaler who's offering on the property, I am not paying the 6%. It doesn't come out of my wholesale fee, doesn't come out of my pocket. It is the seller who pays the 6% out of their proceeds from the deal. Now, that 6% is typically broken up into 3% for the buyer's agent, which would be me, right? If I'm the buyer, then my agent, and 3% for the seller's agent. They combine 3% each to get that full 6%. All of that 6% again is paid by the seller. Now, Jerry Norton's double dip strategy is that if I come in as the buyer and I do not have a buyer's agent, that means that there is 3% of commissions that are not being claimed by my buyer's agent that typically can go towards the seller's agent. So now on this deal, instead of making just 3%, they would make 6%. They get to double dip into both sides of the commission, which, if it's allowed by their state regulations and it's allowed by their broker, would give them extra incentive to work with me on that deal. If you enjoyed this episode, please change the color of the like button if you're here on YouTube and leave a review if you are on your favorite podcast app. And until next time, thank you for watching.